Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. I have just happened to scroll over and was checking to see an updates to any of the cases, and I discovered that there's been a new filing. We have got another motion filed by Katie Joy, and that's more money. So let's have a look at this. So first of all, we've got on the 15th of the 10th that there was $100 paid from her. So it says on so we're just going to scroll up here. I just saw this. So as I said, I just saw this. And this is so big, I haven't even introduced myself or done any of that other stuff. But look, there's lots of documents here. Okay, so we're nearly here. So we've got here a notice of motion and affidavit of attorney. I haven't seen them. So let's have a look at these together. So this says here, let me bring this up. So this is straight hot off the press. Okay, straight hot off the press. At 1:45 on the 15th of the 10th, this was filed. Hello to everybody, by the way. I hope you can hear me. I hope everything's working. So let me know if there is a problem. Okay, so we've got to the plaintiffs and their attorneys of record, Amber J. Stavick and Jacqueline Naft Stavick Law, and that's the... Please take note that on October 17, 2025 at 3 p.m. or as soon thereafter as counsel may be heard before the Honourable Carrie Willis, District Court Judge, Wright County District Court, Courtroom 320, and the address of the court, defendants Katie Mansky-Polson and Without a Crystal Ball LLC will move the court for the following relief: for consideration and of the affidavit and exhibits as filed as Ninth Declaration of Jennifer Moore, notwithstanding the fact that the information stated therein is newly discovered evidence that is relevant to the motion to be heard by the court. This motion is based on files, records, and proceedings herein of the Ninth Declaration of Jennifer Moore with attached exhibits. Now, I am assuming that, as we read in Amber's reply yesterday, that they had not submitted any new evidence. I'm hazarding a guess that she's submitting new evidence, or she's asking for the court to consider new evidence. This sounds like it's going to be a big day on the 17th. There's at least 3 motions that potentially are before the court. So it could be crazy. So here is her 9th declaration. So she's done 9 declarations for this. Okay. I, Jennifer Moore, declare under the penalty of perjury, all right, pursuant to statute, I am counselled for defendants Catherine Mansky-Polson, aka Katie Joy, and Without a Crystal Ball LLC in this action. I make this affidavit to authenticate newly discovered public records that contradicts plaintiff's affidavits filed on the 17th of September 2025. After defendants filed their September 2025 memorandum opposing plaintiff's motion for temporary injunction, 2 public records became available in a related California civil case. They're trying to put in evidence from the other. They're trying to put evidence in from the other case because it's a motion. She's filed a motion. 7M get to respond to this. Exhibit A is a true and copy direct of a notice of forfeiture published by United States Postal Inspection showing that $105,222 in US currency was seized on July 25th, 2025 from Robert Shin for violation of federal law. Exhibit B is a true and copy direct of the Declaration of Attorney Daniel R. Guttenplan filed October 8 in the above referenced California case. Paragraph 2 of that declaration acknowledges receipt of a notice of seizure of property and initiation of administrative proceedings dated September 9, 2025 from United Postal Service Inspection Service, and further references a pending criminal action affecting the same cross defendants. But they've not been shown anything. What does this prove? Both Exhibits A and B are filed public court records and are subject to judicial notice under the evidence law. These records directly contradict the September 17 sworn affidavits of plaintiff Robert Shinn, Miranda Derrick, and James Derrick, each of which swore that no criminal charges have been made against me related to defendant's statements, and it denied the existence of any law enforcement action. They're still correct. As far as just because you've got a fortitude notice doesn't mean that you've been charged with a criminal conviction. Is this woman a lawyer? Seriously, and this is very highly suspect, considering that a certain social media pseudo journalist has actually just used this complete narrative. The existence of a federal forfeiture proceeding and declaration by plaintiffs' own California counsel referencing a criminal investigation. It's an investigation, you dimwit. There isn't a criminal. Just because they do a criminal investigation does not mean that there are going to be criminal charges against you. You can have criminal charges against you, but as we stand today, there are no criminal charges. Therefore, so that paragraph 6 where it says no criminal charges have been made against me related to the defendant's statements, right, is correct. There have still been no criminal charges. The existence of it were inaccurate, and that the defendant's reporting concerns matters of public interest. Everything stated in this document is true and correct. Okay. I can't wait for Amber to respond to this one, because is Amber then going to tell us the difference between an investigation and a charge? And it says that they have, so this is what they've submitted. So they've not even submitted the whole damn thing. Oh, I just said they've not even submitted the whole thing. It's just a section of it. Now it says the government may consider granting petitions or omissions which pardons all or part of the property from forfeiture. You may both file a claim for petition. So it's saying it gives them so that they can repeal it. You may contest of a property. They've got 30 days. Last date to file is the 14th of the 11th. Whoopie doodah. Oh. I'll try and make this bigger, and I'll scroll through this very quite slowly. Hello, Michelle. So this is their new evidence. So now they're trying to say that they've committed perjury by saying that there has been no file. They're trying to imply that there has been perjury committed because it sounds like Friday will be interesting. Because they've stated that there's no criminal charges against them. Well, as far as I know, as we stand, there's only the investigation. There's still no charges until they're... And don't forget, you can still have charges made against you and still be innocent. I mean, how many times has that happened? Oh, dear. I mean, this is going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be... There's a lot... Well, I hope you got your popcorn ready, because I reckon the next 48 hours are going to be very exciting, because there still has to be, because they filed a motion, the other party still has to respond to that motion, to which they get to respond. So there's at least another 3 sets of filings that have to be filed yet before before Friday. So I hope you've got popcorn. So let's have a look at what this guy says. So it says, I am Guten Plan, declare I'm the attorney licensed to practice in the state of California. But and here's the thing, my suspicious mind can go on together with suspicious minds, is that it's funny, last night when in the video, we talked about this whole rhetoric that she had about this forfeiture notice, and then that document is conveniently chucked into the court as new evidence. The judge will have to decide whether or not it can be accepted as new evidence. She may turn around and say it's not related to this case. Over the last 60 days, I received from criminal counsel for one cross-defendant a notice of seizure of property, initiation of administrative procedures, dated September 9 from the United States Postal Inspection Service relating to the seizure of a cross-defendant's property. Cross-defendants had had their personal property seized by the government have yet to have their property returned. Despite repeated requests to return their property, the government has refused to do so. Without extending the discovery stay in this civil action, the cross-defendants' Fifth Amendment rights will be seriously undermined and would directly impose an unjust penalty on them. Without a stay, cross-defendants will have to assert their Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination if forced to testify at a deposition or to provide written responses to discovery. So paragraph 3 has given the impression that they are trying to fight for the property. I declare under the penalty of perjury. So that's their defence. Hi, Aussie boy. So that's... Hang on. Where does she stay? Back here. Paragraph 2 of the declaration acknowledges a receipt of notice of seizure of property dated and further references a pending criminal action affecting the same cross-defendants. That's not what it's saying. Paragraph 3 is saying that they've had their property seized and the government has not returned it yet. Okay, so what else have we got here? That's proof of service of that. Hang on. So how do you get that they're about criminal stuff from that? Because it looks like it's a stay. They've put for a stay because they're dealing with this seizure. Hello, Aussie boy. They're dealing with this case and trying to get the property back. But how does that interpret to and further referencing the pending criminal action affecting the same cross of defendants? Where do you get that from? From paragraph 3. It says, although it does say, I submit this declaration in support of the defendant's motion to extend discovery stay pending criminal investigation. That's about the only thing. But pending criminal action. And then they've gone on to say that they're appealing it and they're trying to get it back. And if they got it back, if they get their property back, it may be the end of the pending investigation. All right, so that is where we are at the moment. Okay, we are at this. These are the news that have just been filed. Okay. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you have any thoughts on that? So let's just go back and have a look at her Instagram, because this is where it all is. So this was, when did she file this? 3 days ago. So 3 days ago she was talking about this. Okay. So that was her post days ago with those documents. And now suddenly they're all before the court. Is that suspicious or is that suspicious? Oh, sorry, I did not mean to have a picture of her son there either. Like, why on earth she got a picture? I know he's just had a birthday, hasn't he? But still. There's a saying, there's something rotten in the state of Denmark. There's something suspicious about all of this, in my opinion. In my opinion, there's something very suspicious about it all. And Miss Balls, of course, was all over it. Although I happened to check it, I found it myself. I didn't need to rely on Miss Balls today to do it for me. I know, it's a miracle. Normally I see her posts before it. But she said Jennifer's trying to bring the forfeiture in Los Angeles case of proof that they lied. But she's repeatedly accused Robert of being arrested, and he's not. This is why Amber is seeking the temporary. This is why she's seeking the temporary injunction. Robert asking for the money back is not an admission of guilt. WICB is misleading the court, accusing Robert of lying, but Amber has never denied Robert, not Miranda and James, are under investigation. Also, Robert didn't forfeit anything. He has until November 14th to fight this. Now, Miss Balls has said the level of incompetence Jennifer is showing is, it's very clear that KJ is telling Jennifer what to submit, in my opinion, and I'm not sure Jennifer even read Amber's filings, because proof KJ is lying is declared in Amber's testimony. And then Miss Balls has said, I think Jennifer could get into some serious trouble. The level of audacity and delusion Katie Joy is submitting honestly is frightening. I wonder if she'll end up representing herself. In speaking to someone more knowledgeable than the SAC, what I have come to understand is that this is a civil seizure and not a criminal one. I don't know. Could be very likely this money was seized to help pay the USPS investigation, and she might not ever get charged. And if this is the case, Katie Joy may have met her match. That's according to Miss Balls. I feel like KJ is doing all the legwork for the research and letter writing. Maybe it's got, oh, well, it's Jim's. Hello, Bo. Yeah, well, it's interesting, yes. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it's her signature, okay? At the end of the day, it's her signature. And she has said that under the penalty of perjury, right? So if, for example, yeah, it's... And the other thing that's very interesting, Amy, her bestie, her ex-bestie, released a book, and Katie Joy has said that the book is untrue. How does she know what's untrue and what's true? Like someone said to her, what part of the book is untrue? I mean, it's Amy's story. Which parts of the books are untrue? Who are you? IBLP people follow you. I had no idea they followed me. I'm in no way associated with IBLP. Just started Amy's book today. Curious what your thoughts were. How do you know they are lies? Are you close with the Duggar family? No, you are someone who just spreads gossip. And then someone says she has ties close to people, to the Duggar family. She's gotten inside information for years that have proved accurate. And her caption says Amy shared some of the stories with her herself. I think she's experienced a lot of trauma in her life. She's been raised by grandparents who lied about everything. She was kept away from the Duggars and the inner circle. I don't know if the stories are fabricated by her or other people spun lies to her. That's the issue with this family. There are so many lies. But who is Katie Joy to say what's lies and what's not? I forget. She's Well, the thing is, yeah, with Jennifer, it's her name on it at the end of the day, and if she if if there are any sanctions, they won't go to Katie Joy. They'll go to the lawyer. Oh yeah, so here you go. I finished this book today. Let me just have a look at it. So I will be checking the court. I'll be checking the court over the next day or well, there's not a lot of time, and I will try and get I'll try and get the stuff up as quickly as I can if I can. All right. I finished this book and I have a lot of feelings about some of the fabrications that are in the book. It makes me sad because honestly is what the book is supposed to be about. Because honesty is what the book is supposed to be about. Amy Duggan's new book was released. Amy King. I've known about her book for years. Of course she has. She shared some of these stories with me years ago, but the things about the truth is that the truth does not change. Why is she always speaking about her extended family? She wasn't part of the Duggars that had a TV show. She's always trying to try get her own fame off them, riding on their coattails. She was on the first series, I think, as a guest on just under half the episodes. That's sad. I was intrigued with this one. Are you considering doing a mini-series to shed some insights? And she says, I honestly don't know. Oh, dear. So there you go. She has, well, and I think part of the issue is that Amy Duggar King went on Preacher Boy podcast. So we know what she thinks about the Preacher Boy. We know what she thinks about Preacher Boy, right? We know what she thinks about that. Because here it is here. Amy Duggar opens up about the contrast between Duggar family's image of perfection and the abuse and trauma she was living with.
So innocent. And I did not know they couldn't connect with my world. They couldn't connect with the things that I was struggling with and the things that really broke my heart on a daily basis. And so like I said, I felt like it was kind of like a safe haven. I could just be a different person over there. And I did have a shiny, happy mask on when I was with them because I didn't want them to see my pain. I didn't want them to see me cry. I didn't want to come across weak. And I just became, like you said, a comedy relief for the show. I thought the Duggar family was like the epitome of perfection. It was something.
And then
I'm standing outside Emmanuel Baptist.
Okay.
If you never heal from trauma that's happened to you, more than likely it will get passed down. If you never heal from trauma that's happened to you.
So yeah, so it's very interesting. And so here, oh yeah, here we go. Got a little bit more here. So I'm going to be interested to see. Amy Duggar gets real about feeling misunderstood, starting her book with an apology and finally hearing.
And it's just like, here I am. Like, I never said I was perfect. I never claimed to be, but I was also judged like I was. Or that I wanted to pretend to be. And so now I'm just coming out as just like, this is me. And it's okay if you like me, and it's okay if you don't. And I'm a lot better and I'm healed. And it's just, yeah, it's just a really good place to be right now in my life. I felt like a nobody, but I also felt like people knew me, but I was just completely misunderstood in every direction.
So there you go. So she's saying she was so yeah. So anyway, that's what. Oh dear. So what are our thoughts on all of this goings on? I hope. So if you think about it, there's supposed to be. So there's a hearing on Wednesday. This is going to blow out to epic proportions now. You think about all the reading the judge has to do now. I mean, since there has been, let's go back to it here. From what I can remember, there's 3 motions. What have we got here? So she had an under advisement she's taken under advisement on the 18th of September for the reconsideration, okay? So then we've had a motion from Katie Joy. We've had a motion from 7M. That's 2 motions. And we've got other motion. So we've got 3 motions here. Wait on. 1, 2. Sorry, there's 2. Yeah. I think. Is it 2? So you've got 2 pages, you've got 23 pages, you've got 116 pages, you've got 1 page, you've got 5 pages, 1 page, 1 page, 1 page, 15 pages, 2 pages, 9 pages. That's a lot of reading to do. There's a lot of reading to do. So it's interesting. I'm wondering whether there could be a late minute change to this. Because I don't know what time the court finishes, but I mean, at the end of the day, it depends on how the caseload is. But if they don't get started till 4:00 and they've got 2 hours, and it's going to take 2 hours to get through it all, that's going to be a 6:00 finish. With all of that documentation, because there's a lot to go through. Then there'll be arguments. I'm assuming there'll be oral arguments as well as the written arguments. And don't forget, we've still got to have, with the new motion, there still has to be a response. Hello, short order. There still has to be a response and yet another reply. So there's still at least 2 to 3 more documents that need to be submitted before court. So it may happen, the judge will say, I'll only hear this, we'll come back and do this. Or they're going to say, we're going to have to redo this and we're going to need more time. I have seen it happen in Australia quite a bit, particularly if it's a Friday. Judges don't like to stay late on a Friday. Australian judges like to go home and put their feet up and have a good weekend, a quiet weekend. I was going to say go home, have a drink, or go to the pub or something, or do something other than be at court. But it's okay. I want to show you something. So totally unrelated. A couple of things happened. So last weekend was Bathurst, which is like 1,000 kilometers. I think it was 1,000 kilometers. I don't know. Great rap. Yeah. Two amazing things happened. It was pouring rain and a kangaroo. Oh, wow. I haven't seen that before. much more Aussie than that, right? Look at that. So this is on a racetrack. He was doing 300 kilometers an hour. I don't know what that is in my, wait on. Was it? $186 miles. Okay, for those of you, about 186 miles per hour. How's that for a near miss? Right? But more than that, this driver crashed out. And he's crashed out.
Oh, my bet was, how long before he gets a beer? How long was that? I would have had a lot on that. That was Winks odds to get on that one then.
Standing ovation for Chas Mostert drinking a beer at Bathurst.
Yeah, great effort. There's Murph laughing with Fabian. We all knew what was going to unfold. It just took about 5 metres earlier than I thought.
Yeah, you were just champing the bit to be able to get that one out.
Long. Let's have a
So,
Did these two tangle?
okay.
And what's this? Look at these guys.
It's on.
It's really.
David Reynolds.
Get them in that position. Well, he's going to make himself someone's brought a chair down for him. He deserves it too. He's worked so hard. Oh, I think it's broken.
Some of the stuff that's happened over the years.
Long. Let's have a bet.
Oh, because it's
How
in the
long?
country.
I'm saying, oh, my bet was.
It's in the country, and so you'll discover. Let me just show you the Bathurst track. Is in the middle of the bush. But that being said, we have kangaroos in metro areas. So yeah. So the Mount Panorama, it's very iconic because people camp around it. There's campsites, you know, I'm just trying to find where it is. It's about 90 minutes. Mount Panorama. 40,000 fans make the pilgrimage there. So just to show you, I'll show you this picture. It looks like this. Looks like this. So it's a lot of bushland just goes through the middle of it. See, Mount Panorama camping. You camp in there. So it's bush. So they're actually in kangaroo territory, really. And that's what the track looks like. But there's, yeah. What to do in Bathurst. So Bathurst is very, I know, it was very close. Well, I'm wondering what would have happened if it had hit, because it would have been going very fast. Very fast. So, yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to head off. I've still got some, but as I said, I thought I'd jump on while I could. Oh, hang on. She's doing hang on. I've just got to go back here. Look at this one. Look at this. Just before we go. Ask me anything. Most of you know that I've covered the Duggars and the IBLP since 2018. I've made many contacts, spoken to many people, and I know facts that don't change. So please ask me anything about the book. That's a bit cheeky, isn't it? Bathurst is a nice town. I've never been, short order, but that is something I'd love. I want to go to Bathurst one day. Apparently, I'm segueing across I'm just segueing a little bit. Let me tell you, for those of you that are interested, you probably don't care whether you are or not, but you can actually get houses on the strait. So they are they are booked up years in advance. People book the homes to stay in while they're at Bathurst. Just trying to find one here. So there is one for sale, and they're pretty big houses. Like this is a what's this one? This one's a 7-bedroom house. It says contact the agent. It's got 7 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, 4-car garage. So if we go down here, I'll just show you this. So this is this is like Conrod Strait. So it's a normal, this track is that generally it is street, so Conrod Strait is actually a name of a street. And so you can live on Conrod Strait. Of course, it's not available for this property. There you go. Conrod Strait is here. And so there's the Mount Panorama, right? And so the track is essentially, it just goes through a whole pile of housing. So people, so like this is a house that's on Conrod Strait. So lots of people rent these houses out and stay at Bathurst, and they can watch the race. So, you know, these are, and they go for thousands and thousands. So, yeah. So every other day of the week, except for Bathurst, 1,000, it's a nice country town. But yeah, it's a place I'd like to go. For sale, your next home on Conrod Strait. I looked at one once. And you can get a house on Hell's Corner. Imagine saying, where do you live? I live in Hell's Corner. Or I live near Forest Elbow. I live on Forest Elbow. So for example, that's like the view. Yeah. So there's two houses for sale, and they're in the multiple million dollar. They're multiple $1 million houses, by the way. like Yeah, there you go. That's 2.5 million. So 2.5 million. So that's 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. Shall we all put in? And you can all come and stay. 6 bathrooms, 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 7 cars. So this is 402 Conrod Strait for 2.5 million. And it's nestled off Forest Elbow. And so, as I said, a lot of people that live here, it's got 13 hectares and it's got 2 homes on it. They will often move out for Bathurst and lease the property out, and groups of people will stay there. So, like, for example, look at that. Oh, is that the second house? It's nice. And so there is it, and here's the road here. Yeah. Here you go. Yeah, it has got 2 houses on it too. Look at that. Actually, that'd be nearly $1 million a house. Actually, that's not bad value for money, actually. Let's go. I know. Look, there's a pool. You could be in the pool while the great race is on. Yeah, 2.5 to 2.7 mil. As I said, it's quite nice, very nice. It is a good deal, short order. Yes. In fact, you could live in one and rent the other one out. So you could actually, and you'd probably get enough rent to cover both. So again, the road's here, like you're here. Yeah. So it is off the track a little bit. So there's the road, but you'd be able to see it. So there you go. Look how close you are. As I said, any other given day of the week, it says, here's your driveway here, private property. So you'd probably not be able to get in or out very much. So there you go. That's what it looks like set up for Bathurst. So you've got the first residence has, what have we got here? We've got 1 bedroom, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, 1 bath, 2 bath, 3 bath. Is that another? Oh, that's a. So that's a 4x3 with a bar. So you get a bar. So that one's all right. So you could live in that one and rent this one out. So this has got, what's this one? 1, 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Pretty cool. So you could rent one out, live in the other. And they've both got garages. Nice. So there we go. Who's got a couple of mil lying around? Oh, yeah, it's not good. It wouldn't be good in drought. Hello, Laura. So, yeah, so anyway. So Bathurst, as I said, so that's why there are kangaroos that can run on the racetrack. Doesn't happen. I don't know of one being hit during the, but I tell you what, that's great driving. We have a pool and live close to the airport. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we need to like put money together and I'll keep one for everyone's holiday home and you can come and visit me in Bathurst. Oh dear. But as I said, staying on, I know I saw one house for sale once that said that it was booked up for the next 10 years for Bathurst. So, for example, I was hoping... Oh, no, I don't have a couple of million lying around. If I did, I'd have my own house. So, for example, this obviously is an Airbnb, just to show you. Okay, so wait, show me what the date was. They can be, again, it's like depending on the area because they have to have eucalyptus trees. So, for example, you can stay at 505A Conrod Street, Mount Panorama. And again, so people will book these accommodation. I bet you that it's booked up. It's a holiday home with 6 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. So, yeah. So there's stuff like that. They won't give me a price, but I bet you it's very expensive during Bathurst. So again, if you actually look at this house, here's the house, there's the straight. See? There's the road. That's how close you would be. And again, very close to where the race would be. This is where you'll stay, and there's the race. And all the cars go by. So you can imagine sitting out. There you go. Look, there it is. You could be sitting out having a barbie, or sitting having a drink, and you've got the best view of the race. So it looks like that's got 2 houses as well. Looks like they've all got a couple of houses on them. But anyway. Oh, hang on. I just want to see this. Was it room with a view? Oh, that's yes, that looks like that's the other room. So yeah. So you can definitely get accommodation, but yeah, you've got to book early. All right. Well, based on that, I'm going to head off. Thank you for watching, Mick. If you could hit like and subscribe. As I said, I will keep up to date with everything that's going on. If I can't get live, I'll do a recording for you. But this is getting very, very interesting. And again, we're trying to add new evidence in. I don't know if this is the hill that I would want to die on if I was Katie Joy. I still believe that her best defense would be truth. But from what they're saying, she hasn't submitted any evidence. But she'd have to give up sources for that. So, I mean, as I said, I don't know that this is the hill that I want to die on to try and get forward to it. To say that they've committed perjury because they're being investigated. The affidavits clearly stated that, let me just see if I can find their affidavit. I just want to have a look. That there'd be no, oh yeah, this is it. Robert Shin, here's Robert Shin's affidavit. Okay, let's have a look. So this is the 8th of the 10th. Okay. So they're saying she committed perjury because he says, at the date of this filing, no criminal charges have been made against me related to defendant's statements. As no criminal charges have been made as of the date of filing. So how do you go from they've lied or they so I just can't get let me go back to here again. Oops. She says, these records directly contradict the affidavits, each whom swore that no criminal charges have been made against me in related to defendant's statements and denied the existence of any law enforcement action. As at the date of this filing, no criminal charges have been made against me at the date of this filing. So how does those contradict the affidavit? As I said, at the end of the day, it's Jennifer Moore's here, and she has, I declare under the penalty of perjury that everything I have stated in this document is true and correct. And then, as I said, I'm not sure that that is actually stated in the documents that they've sort of... Well, in the document yesterday, Amber said that they don't deny that there's an investigation. What they are denying is that there have been arrests and charges made, which is what has been the line that Katie Joy's been spewing. So just have a look at that line. Look at paragraph 6. These records directly contradict the 17 September 2025 affidavits of the plaintiffs, each of whom swore no criminal charges have been made against me in relation to defendant's statements and denied the existence of any law enforcement action. Of this date of filing, no criminal charges have been made. As of the date of filing. And this was signed on the 8th of October. So up until still on the 8th of October when they swore this, there were still no charges. We still don't know whether there's been any charges laid. What we do know, and what is a fact, if you want to talk about facts, okay, facts, there is an investigation going on, okay, that is a fact. There is the forfeiture that he's had property seized, that is a fact, okay, they are facts. They've also stated that they are fighting the seizure. That's also a fact. They've got till the 14th of November to have that process started. That's a fact. That's what we know. Everything else is speculation. So yes, anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But yes, I'm interested in your comments below. Tell me what you think about everything, and I will catch you next time. And yeah, I hope you have a good day, night, whatever time it is where you are. And I'll see you next time.